These are the types of meals that crush insulin resistance for good. I get asked all the time, Rob, what kind of foods and meals do you eat? What times do you eat them? And what's the nutrient makeup? And in this video, we're going to discuss not only the answers to those questions, but how to prioritize the types of foods that you should have to make sure that this is sustainable, so you not only lose weight, regain energy, and reverse your insulin resistance, but you can keep your results and keep losing weight long term and not have to worry about binge eating and relapsing like you would on a crash diet. Okay? For those of you who don't know, my name is Rob. I'm the founder of Healthy You, where we help busy entrepreneurs, executives, and high end professionals reverse their insulin resistance so they can lose fat, regain their energy, and overall improve their quality of life. And in this video, we're going to get exactly into what types of foods and meals that you should have when you're trying to crush your insulin resistance, as well as your pre and type 2 diabetes. So let's get right into it. So these meals allowed me to not only reverse my insulin resistance, but allowed me to crush my pre-diabetes, my fatty liver, and go from 270 pounds that you see on the left to about 180 pounds, which you see on the right. And this happened, it took about like 18 months, and I didn't know everything that I know today when I started, but the methods and the meals and the foods that I used allowed me to create a sustainable lifestyle for myself. And that's ultimately what we're trying to create for you as well. And this not only worked for me, but if you're a busy medical professional who works overnight shifts, or you're a busy contractor, entrepreneur, trucker, blue collar worker, this can work for you as well if you know what foods to prioritize. Brittany, she's an internal medicine doctor. She was able to lose just over 70 pounds in about 9 months using a lot of the meal schemes that I'm about to present to you today. Same thing with Andrew, who's a copywriter in the automotive industry. He was able to lose over 80 pounds in about 9 months as well. And he also prioritized this meal structure, and this works very well for people who are busy, so they can know the types of foods to prioritize no matter what situation they're in. So there's a foundational principle as well, which we need to get into and discuss. You have to remember the goal of these meals is to stabilize your blood sugar. Stabilizing your blood sugar will allow us to gradually bring your blood sugar down and lower your insulin levels. Okay? And we do this by removing the junk and processed foods from your diet, or most of them, the calorie dense junk, right? Because this will allow us to lower the amount of calories you're eating and eat in a caloric deficit. Same thing, we're going to stop drinking a lot of sugary and calorically dense drinks. So your Starbucks coffees, your sodas, your sugary juices, all that's got to go. And we're going to centralize our diet around protein, veggies, legumes, and fruit. Okay? And also sleeping and moving more as well. But this is what we're going to prioritize our diets around. This is the tool that is where the real sauce is, so really pay attention here. Our biggest tool against waging war against insulin resistance and fat gain will be prioritizing protein. Protein, veggies, and sleep. Every meal you want to be eating several ounces of protein. Why? Because it's satiating. It's the most thermogenic, meaning it heats up your body, allows you to burn more calories. And it's the most, satiating, thermogenic, and it's very nutrient dense. It slows down your gastric emptying, meaning when you intake the food, right, it allows your body to digest it slower. So any food that comes after will digest slower as well. So even if you do have some carbs after eating a bunch of protein, you won't have a huge glucose spike. And that's the great thing about protein, is protein doesn't have a huge glucose spike either, not nearly as much as carbs. So this will allow you to be able to have lower glucose spikes and even have some carbs afterwards and minimize the glucose spike as well. Same thing with veggies. Ideally, you eat the veggies first before the protein, but if you don't want to, you like the protein first, that's completely fine. You want to have the veggies and the protein first. And the veggies are very fibrous and also slow down your gastric emptying. This allows your body to digest the food slower, which will minimize the glucose spike. All right. The last thing is you definitely want to prioritize sleep. Your sleep regulates all of your hormonal production signaling. So when you have a lot of sleep deprivation, this increases your hunger, your cravings, and your hormonal dysfunction and your insulin signaling will increase. So your insulin signaling will be thrown off and your body won't be able to metabolize glucose as well, leading to higher glucose spikes. So remember, guys, prioritize protein, veggies, and sleep. If you take one thing away from this video, do that. So wherever you get food or whatever situation that you're in, always think about, where can I get a shit ton of protein and veggies? How can I get a ton of protein and veggies? And how can I make that taste good? Because that's all you have to do. If you prioritize that and sleep, you'll be good to go. You can even have a few snacks in there and you'll be straight. This is how you want to prioritize your meals. Protein and veggies. And I know it's boring, but you can find a bunch of ways to make this taste good. And I'm going to show you an example right now. This is one of my go-tos and one of my favorites. A chicken egg salad. Super simple. And this, personally for me, I take about 6 ounces of chicken, and that's about anywhere from like 40 to 50 grams of protein, along with 2 boiled eggs, another 15 grams of protein, and about 15 grams of fats, of 2 handfuls of lettuce, and then some black beans, which will get my extra carbs and some more protein and fiber. Super nutrient dense meal, and it's only like a few hundred calories. Seriously, the chicken will be around 250 calories or so. The boiled eggs will be around another 150 calories if you only use 2 of them, right? So right there, we're all at 400 calories. Half a cup of black beans will be around 100 calories. You're at 500 calories now. And the lettuce is next to nothing. So for that meal that's going to be huge, it's going to be a huge bowl of food, is only 500 calories. You will be stuffed after eating that. There's no way you're going to be hungry. No way. Trust me. And you can find different variations of these types of meals wherever you go. If you go to Chipotle or your Panda Express, Sweet Green, Kava, even Subway, you can find different variations of this meal and even add a little bit of sauce, and this will be a very, very healthy and sustainable way going forward. And what this does is allow us to lean away from crash diets, right? Because crash diets, they're optimized for short-term results. Short-term and quick results are usually not sustainable. The problem with crash dieting as well is when you use a system I presented earlier, it'll be a lot more sustainable, versus crash diets are not sustainable, they're not fun, they're not enjoyable, they're not adaptable, and they're time-consuming. Because of all these reasons, it makes it very frustrating and hopeless when you can't stick to the diet, right? Because when you're doing keto, you can only have certain veggies, or you can't have veggies because of the carbs, or, you have to stick to certain proteins here and there. In this particular case, guys, you can have carbs. It's just that you need to choose where your carbs are coming from, okay? It's fine when they're coming from veggies, fruit, legumes. You can throw some apples or you can throw some bananas into those meals. It's completely fine as long as you have those carbs last. All right? That's really it. It's very, very, very simple. And when you crash diet, it just heavily increases the chances of you relapsing, binge eating, and gaining all the weight back and then some. It literally minimizes the chances of you having long-term results. But sustainable dieting, like using the meals and the type of meal planning I showed you earlier, that optimizes for long-term sustainable results. And it maximizes the chances of you having great long-term health. And also you can play around with what's in your meals. It allows you to have a more fun lifestyle that's not as stressful and not as much effort, because you know how you can make your meals and how you can make it healthy for you. It's much less effort and it's much more flexible. And this is how a lot of my clients get great results, like Brittany I showed you earlier, as well as Andrew. And there's many more. So when you do this, you want to prioritize your eating habits. So you want to prioritize breaking your fast with these types of meals and eating normally in your fasting window. So when you base your meals around veggies, protein, you want to eat those first, and then legumes or fruit, which you eat last, and fats as well. It allows us to make it much more flexible and enjoyable. And then you add in the sleep. You want to prioritize your eating and your sleep habits. If you do that, you'll be able to crush insulin resistance. You'll see significant results within a matter of months. And then you start adding in some exercise. If you don't know where to start, just start walking for 10 to 15 minutes after you eat. Start there. Start there and work your way forward. If you can add in 2 days of weightlifting on top of that, even better. And then the supplements, we only use supplements to accelerate and improve our results. They're not the foundation. No fat burners or any of that other crap. But, check out my other video on supplements, and that will sort of break down the separate protocol that I use and that some of my clients use as well. All right, guys, so that breaks down a lot of the meals and different foods that you can have when you're trying to crush your insulin resistance, break your fast, and sustainably lose weight and stabilize your blood sugar long term. I guarantee if you stick to this model for a long span of time, ideally the rest of your life, because remember, this is a lifestyle change, you'll be able to completely transform your life forever. You'll regain your energy, mental clarity, and at the very, 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 very least, you'll be able to reduce your medication load to where you can live a normal life and not be in and out of the hospital. You'll be able to provide more for the people in your family, be around for them long term, and you maximize your chances of longevity. And that's ultimately what we're all here for, is to realize our true potential, maximize our longevity, maximize our relationships and quality of life, and be there for the people that we care about. If that's important to you, please follow the advice in this video. And if you need help with this, if you're looking for help, feel free to click the link below. If you're a busy entrepreneur, high-end professional, executive, and you're seeking help in crushing your insulin resistance with lifestyle change, book a call. I'd love to see how I can help you. Or you can DM me on Facebook or Instagram. We can talk more about your goals and see if it's a good fit. Because I'm only looking for people who are interested in really changing their lives, serious about investing in themselves, and really making a committed effort to changing their lives and being a better person for not only themselves, but for the people that they care about. But I hope this video helps you guys. Please follow me for more. Appreciate all of you. Peace.